Watching TVC News at 10 with Nifemi Oguntoye. We're tracking developments after a Kaduna-bound train derailed between the Kubwa and Asham station earlier today. The National Safety and Investigation Bureau has confirmed that 6 persons were injured as it launches investigation into the incident. We have details in this report.
The Nigerian Railway Corporation confirmed that Kaduna-bound train derailment occurred at 11:09 a.m. between Kubwa and Asham Station. Managing Director of NRC, Kayode Okpefa, explained that emergency rescue operations were immediately activated after the incident, with medical personnel and nearby hospitals placed on standby to attend to affected passengers. He also mentioned that necessary measures were taken into consideration to ensure the safety of travelers, and security operatives were deployed to the site. For the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Zubeida Umar, led the agency rescue team to the site. The spokesman of NEMA, Ezekiel Manzo, mentioned that rescue operations was a multi-agency effort coordinated by NEMA with the support of the Nigerian military, the Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Immigration Service, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and others. Some of the passengers have this to say.
The experience was mad. We were all terrified. I was even on the floor, safe, like, for you to know how scared I was. With this children, like, we were all on the floor, holding the chair just to protect ourselves.
Like, what time did this stuff happen?
I can't really tell. But I think about 20 minutes after we left Kuba Station.
What time did you leave Kuba Station?
We left Kuba Station 10:45.
I was in that coach, I fell down. That coach 4. I just heard one terrible noise. The next thing, just like the normal movie I watch, we started drifting off the rail. Our train turned this way. We just managed grabbing for life. We were trying to break this thing to come out. No, it was too hard. Then somebody went up. I don't know how I managed. Then we saw one little light. That's how we managed came out.
For the Director of Public Affairs and Family Assistant, NSIB, Bimbo Oladeji, she says 6 persons sustained injuries and no recorded fatalities. She also mentioned that a team has been deployed to the site to gather evidence. The Director General of NSIB, Captain Alex Bade, says the investigation will focus on identifying the factors that led to the derailment. The Kaduna-Abuja rail corridor is one of the busiest in the country and has suffered multiple disruptions in recent years, including the March 2022 deadly attack by armed men.
Well, I'm joined now by 2 men at the center of this development, the Managing Director of the Nigeria Railway Corporation, Kayode Okpefa, and Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Captain Alex Bade Jr. Let me begin with Captain Bade. You've confirmed that a GO team has now been deployed to investigate the derailment. What preliminary information can you share tonight about possible causes, and how long will Nigerians wait for a full report?
Hello, Nifemi. Unfortunately, I cannot share any preliminary information, as that would be speculative. They got there later in the day today. They started their investigative processes. Of course, it's dark now, so they returned back to Abuja, and they'll be back there early tomorrow morning as well, with more equipment and drones to get an aerial view of the accident scene. So again, I cannot speculate or give you any information as to what happened. This is obviously going to be a very complex investigation. I'm sure you've seen the photos from the site as well. I mean, there's a severe damage to the track with a carriage being on the side. So unfortunately, I can't say anything towards that at this time, but be rest assured that we'll have a preliminary report out here in the next 30 days.
NSIB reports, Captain Bade, often highlight systemic lapses in maintenance. We hear often about safety standards and oversight based on similar past derailments. What recurring issues are you concerned about that may have played a role here?
Again, if I speak on that, again, you'd have me speculating. So I don't want to say what I suspect. Let the investigators on site do their job and get back at me. And I'm sure I'll have something here for you soon. We'll do a press conference here soon, jointly with the Nigerian Railway Corporation. So please bear with us. We do not want to speculate at this time.
Nigerians worry, though, that investigations often end without visible accountability. How will the NSIB ensure that your findings lead to actual safety reforms in the railway sector?
With this, for the regulations, at least in the rail investigative process, there's more judicial oversight here. So we'll be coordinating with the judicial authorities here. Of course, we'll monitor our recommendations, but we will strongly, if we find that there's sabotage or, willful wrongdoing here, we will strongly recommend to the judicial authorities to get involved in this.
Captain Alex Bade, thank you for talking to us on the news tonight. We'll be waiting for that full report when it's finally ready. Let's bring in Managing Director of the Nigeria Railway Corporation, Kayode Okwefa. Mr. Okwefa, thank you for joining us on the news tonight as well. There are a lot of developments, a lot of versions to this story, but Nigerians often complain that safety lapses and poor maintenance are recurring with our railway system. What have you gathered so far?
Thank you very much. I'm not going to say there are no concerns, but I am not on that position that there are safety concerns. This is an accident. And like the MD of NSIB tells you, conduct investigation. It's better you don't speculate. This is a technical, systemic issue involving electromechanical devices, human beings, weather, persons, and the rest. So what is important for us is to get the true story of what happened and then give the accurate report and follow the recommendations. But in terms of safety and security, I don't know when last we heard of this kind of incidents. You have the derailment. Just July 28th, there was one in Germany. It resulted in fatality. So it does happen. But what is more important is the evacuation methodology and preventive issues put in place. In this case, it was properly managed. The protocol was ignited. Thank God we have NSIB in place. We contacted Federal Ministry of Health. We contacted the military who moved in within minutes. Helicopters were there moving around. Everybody was secured. And I even went there. I left there at about 6 p.m. tonight. So the situation is under control. And as we go, cooperate with all investigative agencies to get to the bottom of the matter. But by and large, the media should get out of the speculative situation because it will derail investigation. It will color it and it will make people not in good position to come to the right judgment.
Well, the media, broadcast media, as I'm aware, isn't speculating. That's why we've brought stakeholders like you to speak to the issue. I'm curious about the kind of collaboration that we are to expect between NRC and the NSIB investigation to provide transparency. And will you be making these findings public to reassure Nigerians that lessons have truly been learned?
Okay, in the transport sector, safety is purely at the desk of the chief executive. So I will take full responsibility for the investigation from my end to make sure that NSIB gets all cooperation that is needed. Don't forget, when this thing happens sometimes in Lagos, at the beginning of the coming in place of NSIB, the NSIB and the Nigerian Railway Corporation cooperated very well. And just recently, about a month ago, we had a stakeholder engagement involving NRC, NEWA, NSIB, and the other transport agencies, where we all pledge to make sure Nigeria is safe, and where we have an incident, we'll get to the bottom of the incident. Personally, I'm vouching for Nigerians. We'll get to the bottom of this, and I want to assure you, despite this incident, that will be thoroughly investigated, our railway systems are safe. Where we find unsafe situation, we shut it down. And we have done that at the slightest opportunity twice this year.
Beyond today's response and the emergency response we've reported, walk us quickly through the concrete safety upgrades and preventive measures that Nigerians can look forward to, because it's important that we reassure them right now that rail travel remains safe going forward.
Okay, first thing on the rail track is that there is inspection before the first train moves in the morning. to make sure that the entire track is safe, and that was done in this case. Also, just 30 minutes or 1 hour before this incident, a train just passed through the same place without any hiccup until this one happened. Then the next thing that happens is that when the driver are on the locomotive drivers are on, they communicate with the ground crew to complain of what they see on the track. They complain about engine sounds and the rest, and we have a system where we all contribute on a regular basis. That's why we're able to respond quickly. And in this case, all the responders were called by messages and immediate phone calls, and they all responded within 5 minutes.
Kayode Okpefa is managing director.
And the next thing that will now happen is that...
Indeed. Please go ahead. I thought you wrapped up your thought there.
Yeah, the next thing that will then happen is that investigation will come. From the investigation will come. If there are defects found, we'll fix them. If there are human error, we'll retrain. And if there are systemic problem, we'll put up a new protocol to make sure such things doesn't occur. But we want to apologize to all Nigerians for this inconvenience, for those who have bought tickets. And we want to say that the payment is being refunded as I speak to you in full. And we want to assure that as soon as the investigation clears the track, it will be fixed and the train services will commence back.
How long do you envisage this rail track? Oh, I was just going to ask how soon you think this rail track will be closed for?
It will be very swift. Don't forget, after the Kaduna situation, it was fixed and it was done by the Nigerian Railway Corporation. So the capacity to get it back is our technical partners who are on ground. This involves the use of concrete sleepers. We're already working on Kano-Kaduna routes where we are using a lot of concrete sleepers. We have a lot of iron rails that we can use in this case, and we have cranes. By this time tomorrow, all the trains should be off the track to allow for proper investigation and the restoration of the track. So it's about a 100 meters stretch that has to be worked on. And luckily, it's close to a community on both sides of the rail track. The Asham community also has a parallel road to the scene of the incident.
Good place to live it. MD, Nigeria Railway Corporation, Kayode Okpefa, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
And coming up on TVC News at 10. Academic Staff Union of Universities hold protests across campuses to demand implementation of 2009